Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent.
And just like that, everything was the way it was supposed to be. Just like that.
Just like that.
Welcome into the Ads and Offers studio where every
There
day, thank you, there you go. I feel so much more vibrant.
Me too.
When you do that.
We are live from the Ads and Offers studio as we are every single Monday through Friday, 7 until 8. Thanks for joining us. Glad you're all here.
77 degrees under sunny skies in Victoria, Texas. Thank you to AT Dearland Feed for over 50 years, the little gin that could, helping you and yours get everything you need. It's at Dearland Feed. The high today will be 94. Cody Bauerman sends a text with a smiley face. Good morning.
Scott Snow, Bobby Leister, Scott Tomko on the podium this morning.
Appreciate all of you that stand with us every day. We sometimes I fight the redundancy of telling you the same thing over and over and over, but it's so important that we learn it. Did you know that it just blows my mind because I've never heard it before. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. Did you know that Zoran Mamdani has endorsed a candidate in like I don't know if it's a congressional seat or whatever, who cares, in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Does anybody, can you imagine if Zoran Mamdani endorsed someone in a race for a sheriff in Victoria County? Now, if he endorsed anybody other than Justin Marr, he'd be an idiot. But at the same time,
he would never endorse Justin Marr.
That's exactly right. Way too conservative, way too white. I can't understand Zoran Mamdani.
Well, I've got a theory on this because the Democrat socialists love him.
Right. So he's the spokesman for the commies?
The communists love him. But he's born in Kenya, and he's too well known to run him for president under the table, or any position that has a line of succession to the presidency because he's ineligible,
right? Because
he's foreign born. So they're going to use him as broadly as they can to endorse candidates because they still think he's got relevance and clout on a national level. That's where that is.
He's like the fresh face of communism.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Let's not forget, Mao Zedong was the fresh face of communism at one point.
So was
Fidel
Fidel
Castro, Nicolas Maduro, and Chavez, and Hugo Chavez. And we could go on with Stalin. And I mean, and then what happens? They kill everybody that they don't like.
Oh, and Junior Sables chimes in. I bet Mamdani loves Tallarico. Oh, you can bet he does. Tallarico, folks, I'll tell you this. And I've hesitated to say this because I just don't want you to become apathetic or lazy. I want you to vote. And I want you to vote against James Tallarico. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care if you like Ken Paxton or not.
He's the only one you can vote for.
That's right. You need to vote against James Tallarico.
Speaking of which, I believe Ken Paxton, is it Ken Paxton? No, Don Huffines. Sorry, got him mixed up. But Don Huffines, I believe, is going to be the guest speaker of the monthly Republican meeting here in Victoria in September.
That's awesome.
That is. That's pretty good.
The deal with Tallarico is that, these Mamdani Democrat socialists, they're against all your guns. They're against the police. They're for abortion. Imagine that. Communists hate black people. Fact. At the end of the day, they want all the abortion they can get because guess who it disproportionately affects? Percentage-wise, black people. So they definitely want to get rid of as many black people as they can. They definitely hate all the gays, as evidenced in Berlin, where, I just can't help it. They talk about a German citizen drove a van into a pride parade. And I pictured this Aryan dude driving a van. That's just what I pictured. It's Germany, white people, Germany. Like Malif Alouf drove the van into the pride parade because the Muslims hate the gays. It's fact.
I'm surprised they released his name. The media has
they wanted to make sure you knew it wasn't some white guy, some Nazi from Germany. That's what they wanted to make. No, it wasn't us. We don't like the gays either because we're Nazis, but I mean, that was the whole logic of it.
Yeah. But the shooting last week outside that pizza place in Tucson, or into that pizza place in Tucson, 3 days later, trying to find a picture of the suspect, couldn't find it on the mainstream media out of Tucson. Nowhere. So you know what that tells me?
What do I
person of color.
Yep. Sounds like an old Eagles song.
They never do that.
I was sitting in a pizza joint in Tucson when a Muslim came up outside with a gun.
I want to thank everybody who joins us on the No Bull Network, Magic 95.9. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, like and share, and make sure you follow and subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Hi, Marina.
Good morning to Tammy Keeley, Marvin Mickish. Hi, Marina.
Hi, P. Strauss.
Daniel Wade White. There's Cody Bauman, Heather Stewart.
There you
Ricky
go.
King.
Hi, Junior.
Lisa Poole says the AC/DC concert was awesome.
Very random.
I guess it depends.
Where was it? Twin Pines? They have it over at Twin Pines? I'm just asking. You know what's funny is
because that's where AC/DC lives these days.
You start getting into that deal, and don't get me wrong, I'm not that far from it. I'm not that far from this dilemma.
None of us are.
And I'll say this
everybody's closer to it than further away.
But I'll say this before my mom checks in. Because my mom will check in. It's one thing when you're 88 like my mother and you grew up in a really reserved time.
But
and
when she checks in later today and listens to the show, she's going to hear it anyway.
When you look back and you go like, so my mom and dad were in high school in the 50s, and it's romantic and sock hops and Levi's with your cuff rolled up and penny loafers and nobody talks about the fact that probably to a little smaller degree, if that makes you older folks feel better, people were hammering in the back of 56 Chevys, right? Like rabbits back then. But nobody talked about it because it was a different time. We were better kids.
No,
and they probably were. But, you go back to the 20s and 30s and everybody was snorting cocaine and wife swapping. I mean, it's what they were doing. So you get to it now.
Coca-Cola with cocaine in it.
You almost want to go and sit down with some of those old folks that are in the nursing home that were in their 20s during the promiscuous 60s. And can you just imagine sitting there and saying, so tell me what it was like when you're, oh man, every weekend, like 80 years old, telling you about their crazy.
Is Cody Sugar checking in?
Sexcapades.
Well, and don't forget, they used to send all the pregnant teenagers off to live with their aunt for 9 months, right?
Wink.
They went somewhere else, had the baby, then came back without baby in tow.
Right. Yeah. Lisa Poole says, hi, Angus Young is 72 years old. He didn't stop moving.
Yeah.
He's still on the cocaine.
How was Brian Johnson's vocals? Was he able to? My brother saw him in Vancouver a year ago plus, maybe.
It was bad.
And he said he was good for about 3 songs. Then he lost his ability to sing, and they left. They didn't even finish an AC/DC concert.
If we get down to where we're ranking the vocals of AC/DC, we have problems. Like, they didn't do a lot of ballads.
No.
I mean, they didn't even do like Beth.
Ride On, I think, was as close to a ballad as they ever got, and that was a slow bluesy song.
You think about, at least Kiss had Beth.
That was only because Peter Criss was threatening to leave the band if they didn't record it.
good to have you back in
It is good to be
studio.
back in
I
studio.
reached over and inadvertently touched your hand. That was nice.
Should we jump into the First State Bank Astros update? Because it does give me some pause for optimism that the Astros
got beat by a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah, but they took 2 or 3 from the division leading White Sox, and they finished the weekend making up 1 game on the AL worst leading Texas Rangers, and are only 2 games back heading into play this week. So they're still in the thick of things, and that's good.
Look, I've said it before. I did not say it the year they won the World Series, but I've said it before.
Because nobody saw them winning it in 17.
But the Rangers, this is what I said, Rangers won the World Series in what, 24?
Oh, that year, yeah.
23?
23, yeah.
Yeah. Seems like a long time ago. But understand that the Rangers will not win this division. They're just not that good. Good morning, David Ballard. They're just not that good. The Rangers won't win the division. So it's really between the Astros and the Mariners. And I agree with you that I had some hope. I will share with you that yesterday,
12-3, White Sox won.
not indicative of the ball game. The day before, Hunter Brown pitched really well on Saturday, which he needed. You'll recall that he had given up like 6 walks in his last outing. He pitched really well Saturday, and to me, it's rare. You know, I've often compared him to Justin Verlander in demeanor. Verlander was much more emotional than Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown looks like he's just really on the Adderall, heavy, and he was fired up on Saturday. He knew that his solid start, I think he had 7 strikeouts, maybe more, his solid outing and giving the Astros 7 innings was really, really important. And it was, and the Astros won. It's worth noting, I think yesterday, that Jeremy Pena hit 2 home runs. And he's hit, I think, 5 home runs in the 5 games that he's been back. I don't think he homered on Saturday.
Yeah, he homered in the first and the third yesterday.
So Jeremy Pena really being the shot in the arm that the Astros need. You and I have talked about it. Pena, Alvarez, to me, Paredes, and Hader. And, of course, Altuve, because nobody's going to ever want his contract. Those are the only people on that team that are untouchable. If you want one of my pitchers, let's talk about a second baseman. If you want, somebody else, I'll package a couple of people together. I would hate to lose Cam Smith. Cam Smith made a running play in right field on Saturday that was just a freak athletic play. And there's things that you can't coach. And freak athleticism it's just one of the things.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you, well, he's only hitting 230. I go, yeah, but half his hits are home runs. The kid has got potential. Now, we all know people die with potential. I'd like to hear your stance on that. I think the kid's like a bright spot that could develop.
I think they rushed him from an offensive standpoint.
Somewhere.
Well, I think he should have been, but that ship has sailed. I don't know that his bat will ever catch up to his defensive ability in the majors because
hard to catch up.
They rushed him, and it's hard to catch up.
But is it? I mean, if you get enough reps, is it? I remember when Michael Jordan played in the White Sox organization, and they were like, "Oh, was this just a publicity stunt? Was this and that?"
Yes.
And they asked a big time White Sox scout who said, "I'll tell you this. If they would have let that guy have 200 at-bats, Michael Jordan could have been," that's what this guy said, "a Major League Baseball player." He just didn't get enough at-bats.
Well, but let's not forget why they did it, too.
Because he was
gambling in the NBA and Major League Baseball colluded to not.
Is that not the worst kept secret in the history of sports?
Absolutely.
Is there a reason? How many of you, raise your hands if you did not know, that Michael Jordan if he wasn't the person, he was near the epicenter of an epic gambling problem that was looming over the NBA.
But I don't know that he was betting on games.
I don't either. He was
He was
just betting
betting
a
on
lot
golf
on everything.
and played a lot of cards.
A lot of cards.
Yeah. And that's, I think, where, I mean, I don't know that he was betting on sporting events.
Back then, the concern was that a person who gambled heavily could end up in such a situation that his moral compass could be compromised. That person, I mean, I was watching some baseball this weekend, select baseball this weekend, and there's just the timeliness of a bad call. We've got a kid up there with a 3-1 count, and a pitch comes in about this high, and the umpire goes, so now we got a full count. Well, the next pitch.
His umpire was thinking about what he was going to have for dinner that night.
The next pitch, my kid's got to swing, not my son, but our batter, he's got to swing. It's a full count. He ends up getting struck out. We had runners at first and third. If he would have walked as he should have walked, I mean, everybody, even the other team was like, oh, because we all just want consistent umpiring. If you get a couple of those calls a night, now that's one thing this has fixed. But if you get a couple of those calls a night, you can affect a game. And that happens in the NBA. There was just a couple of years ago, there was the revelation of a scandal of officiating, just it traveled. Boom. Ball goes the other way.
Which they never call.
They never call.
No.
But then the ball goes the other way. No, that's offense. That's an offensive foul right there.
So I think the other worst kept secret is his dad was just randomly murdered at a truck stop.
It was, and we called it back then, at least to each other. That was a sign to Michael that nobody is untouchable. Yeah. Picture this, if you will. Michael Jordan's dad driving down a California, I believe.
Carolina, I think.
Same thing. Spelled same letters, begins CA. Driving down a freeway, the quote was his dad decided to pull over and take a nap.
At a rest stop.
At a rest stop. He's driving Michael Jordan's Mercedes and just doesn't have it. Brother, can you spare a dime? Like, why wouldn't you just go check into a hotel if you're Michael Jordan's kid?
And here's the part that was always fishy. It's a drive he's made regularly. It's not like he, and I don't think it was like a 10-hour drive either. He was killed. He was murdered. Yeah. They caught the guys who did it immediately. The mob served them up. Yeah. It was completely washed under the table. Lisa Poole says, I like the Wade Carter shirt. Where can we get one? I need to order some more shirts. You can look at the back. It's nice. Yeah, it's got a big logo. It's a nice color.
They just can't be free anymore. And it's not about, I don't want to make any money off of them. But I'd love to be able to defray our costs. If somebody wants to sponsor, there's a place for you to put your logo, like right here on that gun right there. You put that logo right there. You got a big logo.
I like how you put that against your chest, so it makes it look like you have muscles
like that. You put a big logo on that. Speaking of, and the American public can be so witty. Speaking of, like Tiger Woods, right? You're worth $1 billion. How are you going to wreck a Genesis? Get a driver, you idiot. Tony Romo, arguably the preeminent color commentator in the NFL today, works for Fox. He's a legend. He's great at what he does. Picks up a DWI. Now, how do you do that? In Wisconsin, did you see what the pundit said?
No, I missed it.
Tony Romo proves once again that he still can't complete a drive in Wisconsin.
He wasn't in Green Bay.
Who does that? How does a guy as high profile, who let Tony Romo leave the bar loaded? His picture is like, his mugshot is like, you got me. Yeah, I'm drunk.
Yeah, he's just completely
just
ass-faced
idiot. Who does that? Nobody does that. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He gets paid like $60 million a year, maybe more, to be on Fox. You are an idiot.
No, he was in Milwaukee when it happened.
Oh.
So you can't tell me that he couldn't. I thought maybe he was at some sort of lake resort fishing for walleye or something, or muskies. But I thought
maybe brim.
Maybe.
I mean, what is that? What is it? He was at a park, maybe like feeding the ducks and just drinking like a Mickey's or an old 40 ounce, an old English 40 ounce.
Cabin in some lake town.
He's throwing the little tidbits out to the ducks.
Up in Eau Claire or something like that. I thought, that's where I thought he would have. I didn't realize he was in Milwaukee.
In the land of 10,000 lakes.
No, that's next door. Yeah.
That's Minnesota A.
That's the state to the west. But no, that's where I thought he was. I just realized he's in Milwaukee. And I thought, okay, well, if he's in some lake town, probably no Uber, taking a chance because the local cops are Barney Fifes. But no, he's in Milwaukee. Not only would he be able to find an Uber XL
black car, give me a black car, please.
Or he could have easily had car service.
He's got Uber on his phone.
Yeah.
It just makes you wonder.
CBS would have paid for the Uber.
Oh, or Fox. Who's he with? CBS? Yeah. Just a complete buffoon.
He was arrested for driving under the influence, not driving while intoxicated.
What's the difference?
Well intoxicated is over 0.08. Under the influence is, it's obvious you've had something in your system and you're.
Oh, so he wasn't arrested for a DWI? He'll sign a few autographs to get out of that. Look at that face. It looks like if you said, Brent, give me your best aw shucks face, I got caught. And I was like, that's what he looks like. Like, yeah, you got me. I'm loaded. Yeah.
He was supposed to play in the M&P Group Texas State Open this week, but he's not.
Well, I guess he's going to have to withdraw.
Yeah,
he's a fine golfer. Yeah. They say that
apparently not so fine a drinker.
Apparently he's good enough that Jordan Spieth says Romo's ego has made me a lot of money. A lot of money. He says Romo will come to town and he'll say, I'll play you straight up. Spieth is like, okay, can I use all my clubs?
Well, remember he tried to get on the tour before he got into the broadcast booth.
Lisa Poole, playing pseudo director, says, put it up on the board behind y'all. Can we put that picture of Romo?
I could put it on the split screen.
Lisa, thank you. So all of that is kind of the First State Bank of Louisiana Astros / sports minutia update brought to you by the friendliest little bank anywhere. If you need, look at that. You guys are not going to believe this picture. Tony Romo's just like, yeah, man, I was just putting a little bit, practicing a few shots. This is unbelievable. This is why Carter says unbelievable on the show. You're just like, there, hey, Tony Romo.
Oh, dang.
Uh-oh.
Apparently it was ABC News, but they just decided to ditch the.
They didn't like it.
I guess not.
They didn't like you putting it up.
There it was.
You got a glimpse.
Let's see if I
got a
glimpse. See if it'll come back up.
Let's see.
Power's not in the size.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, folks.
So I had a great idea over the weekend. This is free for whoever's listening. This turtle box thing, it ain't going away. It's very, very, very popular.
There's better options out there, to be honest.
I'm not even disagreeing, but the marketing is so good. Can you imagine, like, let's say that you, just for Jeep owners alone, not even my Bronco, people that can take the tops off their vehicles, can you imagine if they had like a turtle box application for a Jeep where the grills said turtle box and, it was understood that it's built for the outdoors. It's waterproof. I think they could make $1 gazillion.
And it is.
Junior says JBL is much better.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's some good options out there. But Turtle Box is durable. I will say this. I think all of them are pretty much the same when it comes to their waterproof ability. As long as you don't get one that's water resistant and expect it to float or be able to drop it in the lake when you're floating the Frio or the river, then you'll be okay.
Floating when you're walking the Frio, go for a hike on the Frio unless it's really, really raining.
I think only one time in all the years we used to go float the Frio did we actually float the Frio. It was a long walk
After Harvey.
in shiny, in shin deep water for the most part.
Yeah, it looks all romantic until you realize those rocks are like slick and there's like slime on them and stuff.
And your water shoes get torn up like after one trek down it. But anyway, we digress. Should we take our first break?
Let's do.
I think we need to because
doesn't cost nothing. In fact, it makes us money.
Absolutely. Power Vita Wellness. Let's start there because we're going to go see Erica Briggs.
We're going to go by and see Erica after the show.
You can stop on by and get meals done for you for whatever dietary needs that you have. Special dietary needs, whether you've got celiac disease, so you're gluten free, whether you're trying to cut the carbs because you're a type 2 diabetic. Well, she can help you with that too.
She can help you.
Absolutely. She can help you lose weight. Or if you've had bariatric surgery, she can make sure that your meals will not harm you.
She does work with bariatric doctors too to help you with there is a pre-bariatric diet regimen. And then of course a post-bariatric diet regimen. She knows and she can work with you. Went services for all your generator needs. How about an American-made Generac generator? Went being a preferred dealer, they are also hiring. If you are a licensed electrician, you're looking to upgrade your game with their vehicles, with their fleet, with their insurance, reach out to Went Services today. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's your go-to to. Allen can help you get from here to there from pretty much anywhere within the sound of our voice in the No Bull Network. Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Gonzalez, Carnes, Atascocita. Well, it was covered up. I couldn't read it. B County, Frio, Jim Hogg. They're there to help you. There's your brother, Corky.
Yep. Yeah, give Allen's a call, 361-578-6300.
And then, of course, Veracruz Restaurant
today.
Welcome you back in for the best salsa. Hot, warm, hot, sometimes hot, chips.
Fresh.
Perfect
They make them right there in the store. They don't just pull them out of, or in the restaurant. They don't pull them out of a bag from a store.
Guacamole. Caleb Shaw winner on Friday. I was told.
Was this the one on?
Somebody ran into John Beck's office, the vet's office. You got to really be driving. It takes 5 minutes just to get into that parking lot.
Yeah, and you can't go very fast.
The idea that you would go in and hit the building.
Yeah.
Victorians,
for those that don't know who are listening on radio, and we'll give you the background on this. Caleb Shaw is a local realtor, and he started posting every time a vehicle destroyed a building in Victoria. And so we dubbed it the Caleb Shaw Award.
He got carpal tunnel. There were so many times.
And the last 3 weeks, for whatever reason, it's an epidemic. I don't know if it's a pandemic, and I don't know if the government is working on some sort of vaccine to stop this from happening and destroying the entire country. But for whatever reason, we're ground zero of this one.
Yeah.
And the last 3 weeks, there's been at least one, I swear, one a day.
It could be from all the pollutants put in the air by the local plants.
Could be.
You think there's something to that? Victoria has more than its share of cancer?
Yeah, I was talking with a cancer patient, and
of course they think so.
Well, they said they actually did the study or went through the data of rates of cancer, and it is high in this region, amongst the highest in the country. So there's got to be something to it.
So can we shift gears to my select baseball observations?
Please do.
I got to tell you that select baseball. So what in theory, what you have is you have players that are committed, let's say, to kind of a year-round regimen of baseball. You have, in theory, the better players. There used to be a time we coached a lot of Little League, played a lot of Little League, and you would say, well, he's a select player. Oh, yes, he's a good player, huh? It's not really the case. Being a select player just means that your check clears the bank and that you're dumb enough to invest money.
Your disposable income is going there instead of TVs. So TVs have come down in price.
In all fairness, there's a certain amount of snobbery associated with being a select baseball parent because you pay to be there. And You start noticing though, there's a pecking order, like most select parents, and I'm glad Ricky King's listening because he'll understand this. Most select parents show up with their own pop-up folding chairs. Poof, you walk in and you've got them hanging on your shoulders and they pop right up, and then you sit down, and it's a certain snobbery thing. That's one level. And then I noticed through the years, the next level is the backpack cooler. You come in, you sit down, you put the bag between you and your spouse, and then you've got the bottled water when you want
Who carries that, and who carries the backpack chairs?
Usually in those days, I pretty much carried both. Okay. Right. But now the next level was the wagon, because people started showing up with the collapsible wagon, which pretty much showed off the fact that you also had a fairly late model, expensive SUV in the parking lot
to put it in.
Right. Maybe a Range Rover. I don't know. But mom looked great. Always.
Or is that used just to schlep gear, or is it or is it used to schlep the two other kids in tow?
True story. So, but there's a reason. You're clearly a successful family at that point. And mom's always got baseball mom, ball is live, or she's got the t-shirt, mom, hey, bruh. There's always that gear going on. And then she has the ponytails with the baseball ribbon. You can see it, folks.
Baseball scrunchie. Yep.
You can't exaggerate it enough to make it implausible, not likely. And then the next level was, and I'll admit it was the wagon, that it all comes in the wagon. The next level became,
which is actually smart for the way these little league complexes are designed, because you could make 3 trips if you.
True story. Well, dad could make 3 trips.
Yes.
And mom's having to stand by the stands, and she's glowing. So what's next? The battery operated fan.
They have that one that goes around your neck like headphones.
There used to be the little handheld fan. No,
that didn't work.
Now we have the turbine fan that you plug the battery pack
and actually there's ones you can fill with water and they'll mist you too.
Yeah, there is. In fact, the Home Depot has one right now. You can put it on a 5-gallon bucket and it will, for real, and it'll definitely blow more water
like
than
a paint
battery
sprayer. Ooh,
Exactly.
You could just do that.
The airless.
Get a Ryobi
That'll be next. A
generator.
People either have a generator or they'll have a compressor out back. But I saw it all. I saw the end all, the fini.
The 1%ers of Select.
This weekend, I'm not exaggerating. Dawn as my witness. A small SUV pulled in.
Foreign built?
No, I think it was a Ford Expedition.
Okay.
A Ford Excursion.
Explorer?
And no, it was the Tahoe size.
Okay, Expedition. They don't make the Excursion anymore.
Pulling a small cargo trailer, enclosed trailer. And the guy gets out. Morning. The door goes down, becomes a ramp. I swear to you, walks off the cargo trailer with his wagon, with the 2 chairs, with the cooler, with the battery fan in the cooler, in the wagon.
And there was nothing else in the trailer.
No.
Just that.
I literally stood in awe. I think his kid was 8. I mean, he's taking the game to a new level.
Yeah.
But yeah, unbelievable. It was so hot. Hats off to the kids of Vendetta. It was so hot this weekend.
Enjoy the memories, because chances are the numbers don't lie.
No, they're not
Your
going
kid
to, they're not going
probably
to play
not
baseball.
even play college ball.
No. Ryland is, of course, but very few. I know what you're saying. When you sit there and you're watching the game and you're like, there are some kids on our team
they'll go play. They could go play college ball. Most kids, if you've got any sort of talent,
can play
and
somewhere.
ability, you can find a place to play.
And it'll be just
you
like
will not
select
play
ball.
Yeah, you will not play pro ball. That's just the reality of it. Because
1%.
Well, but here's the thing. You played with that talent and against that talent. You played against
and I was
the
not
Alan
that
Ramirez's.
talent.
You played with Doug Drabeck,
sure,
and you watched Doug Heinold locally. In your travel,
still do
you see anybody that reaches that level in your select ball travel.
No, I don't. I watch select ball, and honestly, 90% of it. Yeah, no kidding, Jonathan.
That is
hilarious.
next.
That'll be the next level
if they're allowed at the parks, which they may not.
I actually had right then, I mean, honestly, just then, a pretty decent idea. I could see the guy showing up with the 180-foot extension cord and honestly parking a small Honda generator,
running it through the
and then bringing it up and let everybody plug their stuff in. Oh, you need to charge your phone? There's my, my outlet.
Yeah, I'm going to charge you $5.
I could see that happening. In fact, I may pioneer that idea, especially if I can find a generator on wheels.
Here's an idea for you. You go buy one of those battery operated 3-wheel or 4-wheel golf carts, the bag carts.
Yeah.
That drive themselves down the fairway.
No, oh yeah.
And load up your wagon to that thing somehow.
I like
then you don't even have to pull the wagon.
It's like a little robot. Yeah. Chad Schaefer says, softball dad here, upgraded to the wagon, $49. Amen. No, that's right. Yeah. That's right. And
Chad's going to be mocked. He only paid $49 for it, unless you got a good deal.
There's also no kidding. You could have a tailgate kitchen. Well, the problem
happens. There are parents out there that will pop up the Blackstone and get there at 7:00 and cook breakfast.
It's hard to tailgate at a softball at a baseball field when you've got the 8:00 game. Oh, it's just so brutal on a Sunday morning. Yeah, no kidding.
See, select hockey's a lot different because
it's indoors.
That helps.
That helps.
It's cold. You have to wear all your gear.
Tommy Kingston says you could go kind of, JV and have a vacate. But, Tommy, you're missing the snobbery factor. I mean, people like to – and I'll tell you something else. There's a badge of honor on our team, and it's understood. The select coaches, one difference about the select coaches is they don't have to put up with your kid. I mean, they can fire a kid. And if they're feeling cocky enough that they don't want that $200 and something bucks a month just for your kid to go to practice – they can tell you as an example that, your kid's not going to make the next level of our team. But there are parents that revel in the fact that they've never spoken to the coach. Oh, no, it's select ball. We don't ever talk to coach so-and-so. Somewhere around the $10,000 cash mark, I started reserving the right to speak to the coach. And I don't talk philosophy, but I will cut up with him. I have told one of our coaches that there in the 6th, it was a E10. It was an error on the coach, and he laughed. Dawn said, fortunately, he could kick Ryland off the team. I go, are you kidding me? We're a gravy train. Yeah. My kid could be in a wheelchair. He's got some potential.
That's where I have trouble with these select programs at all levels, because at some point they select your money over your kid's actual ability to play,
which hurts all the other kids,
and move on. Because the genesis of this was the kids that weren't getting picked for Little League All-Stars. Parents got mad and formed their own little teams and leagues, and now it's become,
and their dads coached.
And you've seen it especially in soccer with the academies that pop up. This has become a cash cow for a lot of coaches, and they're not going to tell your kid he's not good enough, because then your kid is going to just go and take that $200 a month of guaranteed income to the next select team across the block.
Yeah, and what they've done is you've got groups like the Sliders and stuff, and what they do is they'll have a 10U team, which it's unbelievable to me now that my kid's 13. It's unbelievable that you're labeling
and he's still playing
10U. He's still playing 10U. He dominates. He's in T-ball.
His name is Danny Almonte.
Right. Actually, he's 13 playing on an 18U team, and I worry about him getting hurt. But he's adapting quite well.
Walter Gretzky didn't worry about Wayne.
That's right. But you look select curling. That would be great. Yeah. Yeah. He says it's a cash cow for perfect game because all the AA teams. That's what I was going to say, Ricky. There's always a level for your kid. We've got our travel ball team, and your son's just right there, but we're going to put him on the local tournament team, which means it doesn't cost him any money to travel and buy hotels and all that. Or we're going to put him on our developmental squad because we see something in little Billy. You know, if he grows 12 inches, he might have some chance there.
We see something in them, dollar signs.
Right. So be careful, be realistic. It's an easy deal, right? Because if you're not careful, it plays to your ego as a parent. And I hear it out of people all the time. Oh, my son plays select ball. There's our own House District 30 state rep, AJ Louderback. He's a first teamer, no doubt about it. AJ getting ready to go.
He's on the select team.
He's on the select team. Yeah. Let's see. Chad Shaver says, non-select team looking at the select teams that annihilated us yesterday. Definitely jealous they have all the goodies. No doubt. No doubt there are some advantages to select ball, and there are some really fine players. And I think the program really does develop kids in the offseason. And Vendetta is a no-nonsense outlet.
And there are some programs that do it right and actually develop your kids. I'm not knocking them all, but there's too many out there. My word of caution to parents: do your homework before you sign your kid up with a team. Because there are too many out there that are just willing to take the money, and your kid's development is
true story.
Is
secondary,
yeah,
if existing at all. Yeah. But Ash, there's kids out there. I mean, I know that select ball can be kind of a quote unquote joke because there's teams out there that our team has been annihilating lately, and I'm like, how can that be? Yeah, how can it be? So women's curling, when does women's curling start?
In the fall.
Did Junior think that we couldn't decipher when he put when, DIES, women's curling start, that we wouldn't know that was when does? Or was he just adamant that he wanted that question answered?
Maybe so. I don't know.
Okay.
Jonathan Williams says Oklahoma tried to put an intact select softball team that recruits recently into the Little League World Series and got busted. Yeah, it's it's where it's going.
And you know what? There's always parents willing to cheat and mess up a kid's game.
Yeah, because the Little League, we're select ball. We're above Little League.
And
then they want to go and try and play into the Little League World Series because that's, it's still the legit World Series.
Right.
Both baseball and softball. So there you go.
It's like a dude trying to swim in women's sports.
Yeah.
I'll sneak back down into that league. I'm better than them, but I'll sneak into that league.
So the cyclospora
9 states.
Epidemic now, 9 states.
9 states. It's in some states it's being promoted as a diet. I just go to Chipotle, grab you a little leaf lettuce from Mexico, get it over with.
Where's the
wait, did that say that a linebacker was deported?
Yeah. Former Indianapolis Colts linebacker Daniel Odongo was the first Kenyan to play in the NFL. Apparently stuck around after his playing days and his visa expired and he was deported.
Well,
at least they're not showing any favoritism.
Amen.
And I bet you he didn't try to run over ice in the process.
No, I bet he didn't. I bet he went quietly.
This is interesting. Interim Surgeon General Stephanie Hardiopoulos warning yesterday that early and excessive screen time in kids can trigger severe neurocognitive delays, which harms their attention spans, their memory, and their language skills.
Interesting. It is interesting on everything that happens on your screen, like from Reels to TikTok and all that. They're very, very time-sensitive things. And if you're not careful, can you imagine, sincerely, how hard it's going to be to get a kid to read like a Hemingway novel? Number one,
forget Shakespeare.
They won't understand the terms. They won't understand the vocabulary. But trying to get a kid to sit and enjoy the relaxing moments of reading a book, you still read a lot, don't you?
I do, yeah.
I mean, hard copy books.
Not as much as I should, but I do because I do. I get caught doom scrolling and think about how you feel after you do that. You don't feel energized to go do anything. You actually feel mentally depleted, drained, and worn out.
Right.
Like I need a nap after doom scrolling. And she says there's the 5 Ds that you need to do. Divert kids to hands-on activities, disconnect during meals and car rides, delay device access until they're older, discuss rules as a family, and then model good habits for them. So
now, one difference between the United States and, say, the United Kingdom is the United Kingdom would just make it illegal for you to do so.
Absolutely.
Now, Marina
Mama's
said good
checked
morning
in.
to my
Yeah,
mom. I
Mama's
didn't see
checked in.
that Mom had checked in. Hi, Mom.
And now you have the new British Prime Minister, Andy Burnham,
Nice guy, super guy.
warning that the strain, and this is going on in Canada. And I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman over the weekend that will this will lead into something else, but about healthcare systems and such. But Andy Burnham, the new British Prime Minister, warning with their social system, their socialized medicine, that their hospitals are overwhelmed. And we've talked about this all the time in Canada. You can't find a doctor. You
Everything's
can't get into a
free.
hospital.
Just
Everything's
show
free.
up.
And because that, and he's warned that the service will collapse unless the country fixes it. And they've appointed an independent commission called the Casey Commission to find solutions. He's now asked that commission to increase its timeline or bump up its timeline and increase their efforts to get faster. But what are they going to have to do? Because
Well,
they're
gonna
looking
have to
at
start telling people they can't. They're going to have to turn people away. Is what they're going to have to do. Or tax them more.
And that's what the conservative leader has said.
Now, how did he do that? The guy's been on the job like 46 minutes. Did he just come in and somebody go, here's the file that nobody wanted to look at?
That's exactly it.
Starmer refused to address this.
it. Although he did put the commission together, but yeah.
What a super guy. He formed a committee and had a covered dish dinner.
Exactly. Well, the conservative leader there has said he's demanding that the government rule out tax increases or extra borrowing. So how are you going to fix the system then? You're going to either have to cut other social programs, right? And then use that money to fund your healthcare system. You're going to have to, the Brits are going to have to determine what's more important. Funding healthcare, since they have a socialized medicine system, or funding every other special interest that the government now believes they need to take care of. And Canada's going to face this same problem because the Canadian healthcare system is strained. Doctors are quitting that are up there. I know a couple that I went to high school with who decided to get out of it because the red tape, and it's just as bad up there. Doctors no longer practice medicine. They're dictated by the insurance companies, or in this case, the provincial governments in Canada, as to how they have to go about their medical care. Think about it. Next time you go to the doctor here, what do? Well, I think you need an MRI because I think you've got a torn ACL, but the insurance company is going to make you go for an X-ray first. X-ray ain't going to show a torn ligament.
Right.
But they make you jump through that step so they get their pound of flesh from the insurance company before you can go and get the MRI. Doctors have lost the ability to actually assess and treat based on their knowledge and their experience. They have to follow a prescribed treatment plan or
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Tommy Kingston points out that his grandson led the league in home runs. And when it came time, it was on the team that the coach of his team also picked the all-star team and picked all of the select kids on his team to put on the all-star team and overlooked the grandson. The idea being that what it is a 2-paragraph confirmation that parents are what screw up Little League. Cody Bauman asks, is Aunt Betty doing okay? We haven't heard from her in a while. I talk to Aunt Betty often. I got a text from her the other day thanking us. She's a huge Michael Cloud fan, very proud of the work Michael does, even though she lives in another district. Aunt Betty is doing well. And Aunt Betty, if you're listening, we love you. and hope that
Hi,
you're
Aunt Betty.
well. Aunt Betty's awesome.
Yep.
She and my mom are super tight. That's what's really cool. My mom will just, well, I talked to Betty, you know. So
You're going back to the Mom Donnie thing that we started the show with. I do have it. We probably need to take our final break and then we'll get into.
Well,
Let's do that and then we'll
well,
get into Mom Donnie.
that was
again, 'cause I
kinda
do have
like a
question.
like a mind-numbing like tease. White Wing Materials inviting you. Look, if you need fresh, clay fresh, I don't know if it's fresh, weed free.
Could be if it has manure in it.
topsoil, people. Call White Wing Materials.
920 Sand is the number to call.
Yes, 920 Sand. Give them a call. They've got aggregate gravel. You want a certain kind of gravel. I want everything bigger than a golf ball, but smaller than a baseball.
Topsoil, good for your garden. Put the sand down if you're looking to top dress your lawn and
They've
fill
got
in the flat spots, because not only does it allow the water to drain, it's better for filling in.
USA Foundation
spots.
Repair. I heard the man himself on another radio station doing a call-in type plug. We are much better at plugging US Foundation Repair than their owner, Charlie Garcia, the singing cowboy, said simply, give me a call, 578-HOME, and we will come out and give you a free estimate to level your home. And he said, if your doors creak, if they don't close properly, if there's cracks in your sheetrock,
You've probably got a foundation issue.
and we can help you. He talked about Victoria sitting, floating on a bed of clay.
Well, I
and
mean,
gumbo.
half the cities on old rice beds.
There you go. Chesnick Furniture. Their furniture moves with your home. It's special furniture. Get into Chesnick today and see how you just always do better at Chesnick.
If you don't want it to, you got to put the brake down on the casters.
Did I almost make you chuckle, my
You
friend?
did.
You almost had
My
coffee out
was
of your
almost
nose.
everywhere.
Be careful when you drink. Chesnick inviting you to come in and see why you just always do better, because Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get by and see them. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Have you picked a date in August yet?
I'm not.
No need to rush. Palace Bingo will be there, supporting 7 local charities.
You don't have to wait for us. Go.
Is it $500,000 a week or $500,000 a month? It's a lot of
It's a lot
money.
of money. Yeah.
Every week they cut a check to the 7 local charities that they officially support. I'm trying, since you and I are just a simple partnership, trying to get us established as a 501c3 and see if we can get on that list.
I don't think it'll happen.
Probably not.
And don't forget to go to Ask and Offer for all your vehicle needs, whether you're looking for a new vehicle, a pre-owned vehicle for the kids to go back to school, or you get a new driver in the car. They always have great late model, low mile vehicles. I'll find one tomorrow and put it out there for you as my used car of the week. But more importantly, they will service any make and model, and they do a great job. And they do specialize in truck as well. Give Daryl Smith a call.
What is that? I do. Heather Kraft says more and more, and I know I'm going to agree with Heather Stewart here. More and more doctors are going into concierge medicine for a monthly fee,
And this is happening in Canada,
and they don't take insurance. So here's the theory, folks. Here's the theory. So take Teladoc, which many of you have on your health insurance. Hey, hi, Bruce Woods.
There we go. Michelle Wilson Hawkins. Look at this. Charlie Garcia came out, gave them an estimate because they had some questions. Still a new home, but still had questions. She says it's a great idea to have them come out when you build, just so you have history on your slab. So if you have issues in the future,
yeah,
great idea.
578 home.
testimonial.
So and again, hi, Bruce. Yeah, gone. That thought.
No, the concierge medicine. Sorry.
Oh, so here's the thought. Let's just say, and there's a threshold for all of us. My health insurance program has Teladoc. I can dial an 800 number. I can Zoom meeting and go, yeah. And the doctor said, well, let me see your tongue. You can do all that. And then go, well, I'm going to send you out some amoxicillin, which we all know is what they were going to send anyway, right? Like a frontline, low-grade antibiotic, broad spectrum antibiotic. And that's fine. And it saves you a copay. It's included in your insurance. Well, what you can do, and I think it's something I would do if I were a young doctor, is I would come in and start up a deal and go, hey, look, for $50 a month, you got me whenever you want me. You want to come see me? Come on by the clinic. Because if you go into the walk-in clinic over here, I always call it the John McNeil Clinic. That's not fair to John, because I think Citizens owns it now.
Yeah.
But
He just leases the space to him.
it's on the $1 million a month. It's right there on Navarro. You know where it is. Anyway, you go in there. That's $100 every time you walk in the door. So in that regard, and I'm not being facetious, I don't see how poor people get by, which is why poor people go to the emergency room, and somebody's got to pay that bill, which is why my bill at the clinic is $100.
Well,
I mean, it's a circle of death.
Well, what's interesting with this is, everybody has health care. Well, in a socialized medicine environment, it's crappy health care because nobody gets the care they need, and nobody gets. And I can tell you stories about my mom who suffered from COPD and other serious health ailments, and the hours she spent in ER waiting rooms waiting to be seen. I mean, a couple of times, she died at 80 and was lucky. I mean, there were a couple of times I didn't lose her earlier because of how bad the healthcare system is in Canada and how little they really care about the seriousness of the ailments, because they're sitting in there as little Johnny with a snotty nose. Meanwhile, there's my mom with severe breathing difficulties and an O2
Wait your
sat
turn,
level
ma'am.
at
Wait
70.
your turn.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, then they always, the biggest criticism around the world of the U.S., well, you got two-tier system. Those that can afford it, those that can't. Well, that's what you're getting now in England.
That's right.
That's what you're getting now in Canada, where they actually have these concierge-like services that have popped up.
All of these socialized government-run programs, they're all fraught for corruption. When you have communism where the government, let's say, owns the means of production, when the government owns the grocery store, they're all fraught for corruption.
You think Stalin and his cronies didn't get groceries and everything ahead of anybody else? Absolutely they did. You don't think they didn't get medical care? You don't think Xiao Zeping in China gets better medical care or goes to the front of the line if he has an issue?
Right.
He probably sneaks into the U.S. for cancer care.
Absolutely. He's probably an MD Anderson. But anyway, back to the concierge deal. There's a threshold for each of you, because if you're smart, and you are, I say $50 a month. You go, that's $600 a year. My copay is $75 every time I go. I don't go 8 times a year. So yeah, no, that's not a good deal for me. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. But if I said it's $20 a month, now it's only $240 a year, and I wouldn't really miss $20. That's just one less Starbucks to go with my one less Starbucks for the VISD. So I'm in good shape. I'll do the $20 a month, and I can go see him anytime I want.
But here's why the doctors won't do that. They're trying to lessen their patient load.
Right.
They now, go to the doctor and try to get in there in 20 minutes when you arrive. You're lucky with a waiting room that's just jam-packed.
Yeah, instead of the Food and Drug Administration, now it's the Federal Drug Cartel. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree, Junior. I think, there's a niche. Ash and I love to barter. Like, you got something I want and you want to advertise on this program. Why do you think that we have such a great relationship with our sponsors? We utilize our sponsors.
Yep.
So, there's no doubt about it. I'll barter with you about anything. May cost you some money at the end of the day.
Argue with you about anything too.
Absolutely.
Well, here's my mom Donnie thought, and I here this is for later in the day for some of you Democrats that do watch the show later in the day and then chime in when nobody can answer you back on your comments. I'm challenging you to have the guts to call tomorrow morning, 361-894-4020. For all the calls that you made for the Republicans to distance themselves from white supremacists that really don't dominate the party, I want to know why you as Democrats are embracing the communists that are taking over your party and why you have not distanced yourself and your party from them.
So my premise is that's called Trump derangement syndrome. You hate Donald Trump so much that you've translated that to anybody that says, hey, let's make America great again, is a white supremacist, anti-whatever, and that overrides. You're willing, again, to forego your very soul just to defeat anything associated with Donald Trump.
Yep.
Is that your basic assumption? So prove us wrong tomorrow. Tell me why. Tell me what about doing away with the office of the presidency, doing away with the Senate. And these are not casual innuendos. These are things that people have openly spoken about, that they are willing to do away with those things and that they are perfectly willing to have one person, one vote. Sorry, Nebraska. Sorry, Kansas. You no longer have 2 senators because we did away with the Senate, and you're 4 million vote, not even. Your 2, maybe your million votes between your 2 states just don't matter anymore at all. New York, Florida, Texas, and California would control every major piece of legislation that happens in this country.
And dictate the elections. We would no longer, it would be pointless to even have elections in any other states.
Do you want that? Is that what's best? Are you so power hungry as a Democrat that you're willing to give it all up for all the New Mexico? You don't matter. You don't have any people living there. You don't matter. Arizona's got 1 city, Phoenix. Tucson, all the Chandler, Mesa, they're Scottsdale, they're all just suburbs. It's like saying Sugar Land, Missouri City. No, you guys just don't matter anymore. California eliminates all your votes. Folks, it's the top of the hour. Food for thought. Hope you eat. Have a great day. Ash, great to have you back in the studio, my friend.
Glad to be here.
Talk to y'all mañana.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.